Are you looking for an electric vehicle, but you don't want to spend all that money to purchase one? Well, this might be a perfect solution for you. This is a 2022 Mini Cooper SE. It's an all-electric Mini Cooper. I found it in the used car inventory of Volvo Cars of Fort Myers, Florida. And today I'm going to take you on a tour of it. And since it's the first Mini on the channel, it's going to be a lot of new things for me. So hopefully you learned something with me. Now guys, before we do all that, do me a quick favor. Go to the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Somewhere right here, there's a red button. It says subscribe button. Why don't you go ahead and hit that? Well, let's get back to this vehicle. Mini Cooper is probably one of the most iconic vehicles of the 20th century that now is getting modernized and it's getting electrified for 2022 model year. Now, it all started in 1957 with the idea of providing a affordable transportation for the masses, kind of like Volkswagen did, right? And between the 1962 and 1999, Mini sold over 5 million of those little guys. Now, fast forward 1999 to 2022, we have our first electric Mini Cooper. So that's pretty cool. Now, once again, the gas prices are surging and Mini is bringing this to the market. And all of this starting at a price of under $30,000. So the base MSRP of the electric Mini Cooper is $29,995. With this, the way that this vehicle is equipped is about $35,000. We're going to go through some features of it. Now, in case you are wondering what color is this vehicle, this is actually a wrap. The original color of this was a British racing green, and you can see that once I'm going to pop this hood open. So the styling of this doesn't differ anything basically from the regular combustion engine vehicle. You still have the same oval lights with this very nice light signature all around it, kind of like those halos in here, and the fully LED light setup. You also have some at the bottom here, you have some functional vents, and then the grille is what's a little bit different than the combustion engine. Now you still have this air intake right here, black Mini logo, piano black inserts, as well as the rest of this color. Now it probably look cooler in this British racing green if you ask me. And then you have this yellow S right over here. Now let's pop the hood and let's see what's underneath it. I gotta tell you guys, I love how this hood opens up and it leaves those holes for the headlights right here. All Minis pretty much do that. And right underneath here, you can see the original color of this vehicle, which is that British racing green. It looks pretty cool. So let's take a look underneath the hood. So what we have here is we have, I would call it probably a motor compartment instead of engine compartment, since what Mini has done is they replaced an internal combustion engine with the electric motor. Now this motor produces 181 horsepower, 199 pound-feet of torque. Of course, it's got a single-speed transmission. It is capable of moving this vehicle 0 to 60 in about 6.9 seconds. What's also important to mention that it is powered up by a fairly small battery. That battery is only about 36.24 kilowatts, and it's good for a maximum of 114 miles. This electric Mini Cooper is virtually identical to the gasoline-powered one. So let's take a look at a couple characteristics on the side view. It does have this kind of short hood because it doesn't have a huge motor right here. It does have this trim on the side, which is very typical for a lot of Minis, and that basically differentiates the trim. That's where the trims are marked. Now this one has the yellow S as far as the trim, also has the yellow accents around the Mini, the center caps over here. Now the wheels itself, they're 6 16-inch wheels. They're shiny black. Not a big fan of the shiny black, but they look pretty good on this particular one. You do have quite a bit of this matte cladding around the wheels in the bottom portion of here. And then the mirrors, I don't know whether the original ones were the same color as the rest of the vehicle or not, because they're wrapped the same color, but there's nothing on the mirror itself. So there's no blind spot assist, there's no cameras anywhere that I can see, or no heating elements in here. Now the roof, this particular one has the roof that's been wrapped completely different than the rest of this vehicle, and a lot of Minis come with a different color roof. They also have the smart entry system. All I have to do is press the button. As long as I have the key on me, I can lock or unlock the vehicle. Now, as far as the key, you do have this typical Mini Cooper key. If you haven't seen one, this is one of the cool things about Mini Coopers. They have a key that's completely different than any other keys that I've seen, and that is a smart key. It's got the unlock, lock, and then the hatch release. Speaking of the hatch, we'll move on to the back right now. Take a look at the back of it, guys. If you see that I'm glistening, that's because I'm sweating profusely. It's about 100 degrees outside and about 100% of humidity here in Florida today, so I apologize for that. Anyways, let's take a look at the lights. I love the lights, the way that they're designed. They have kind of the half of the British flag on each side, and they're LED lights. You can see that blinking when I push the lock button. You have the reverse lights, and then you have the reflector lights at the bottom right here. Now, kind of the trim, that's smoked chrome with the black Mini Cooper logo. You do have the wiper, you do have a little bit of this gate spoiler, and then the third brake light is right underneath here. What's important to notice, there's no exhaust, because why would you need one on the electric vehicle? Well, let's pop the hatch open. Let's see how much room we have. Well, getting into the back area right here, you don't have a whole lot of room, but I didn't expect much looking at the size of this vehicle. So there's probably enough to put one large suitcase, maybe if you're getting somebody from the airport, or some groceries. And let's see what's underneath here. We do have a charging cable, and that cable you could actually plug into your household outlet. The one thing though, it will take forever to fully charge this vehicle, so you really need to probably use the public quick chargers in order to expedite that process. Now in the back here you also have the lights, actually one light on one side, and is there, yep, there is a power adapter right over here. Now the seats, as you can see, they split up 60-40, and you can fold them down to get a little bit more room as far as the storage. As always, we're going to check out the quality of the vehicle by closing its door. Boom. Pretty nice and solid, considering it's actually a frameless design. See, it's got no frame around the window over here. So let's take a look at the door panel. It is kind of a cool looking. I like this piano black trim that creates this pattern kind of going around here, and that incorporates this rounded door handle, lock and unlock. You do have the window mirror controls over here, as well as the speaker. A little bit more storage underneath here, and the padded armrest over here. So right on the door sill right here you have Mini Cooper S, and check out this interior. I don't mind it. I don't love it either. It's kind of this cloth plaid interior with the leatherette trim on it. Definitely a British accent in my opinion. Now the seats itself, they have several adjustments, but they're manual adjustments. So you can even adjust this front tie support over here. Of course, you can move it backwards, forward, and then you can move this seat in order to get into the back seat. Now, I'm not going to attempt to do that because I can already see that it's not going to have enough room for me, but for two smaller people, it could be. I'm on the interior of this Mini Cooper. You can see that racing green is peeking through here, so the wrap is only on the outside. But let's check out the interior of it. I really want to get it started because it's extremely hot outside, but I wanted you to hear something, the noise that the vehicle makes when I start it up. So first of all, the way you start it is right here. Did you hear that sound, like powering up spaceship over here? That is pretty cool. Let's close the door and let's concentrate on what else is in here. Now, it is a tiny vehicle, but surprisingly, I do have quite a bit of room sitting in the driver's seat. What also is noticeable is this multi-tier dashboard, and of course, you have this circle right in here that incorporates this 8.8-inch screen. And one of the cool things about it, if you take a look at this trim, this is illuminated trim, and let's say you want to actually increase the volume here. Check this out. The volume, as it increases, it lights up the entire dash over here. Now, if you release it, it goes back to normal. So we're going to check out what else is in here, and let's take a look at the instrument cluster as well as the steering wheel. So steering wheel is on the smaller side. It is a tiny vehicle. It is very comfortable. It's nice to the touch. It's leather wrapped. It's multifunctional. It does have the Mini logo right here. So on the left hand side of the steering wheel, you basically have your cruise control and settings, and on the right hand side you have some of the controls as far as the volume, as well as some of the controls to control whatever is going on in the instrument cluster. Fully digital instrument cluster. So on the left hand side you can see the power usage. Okay, so ready, charge, e-power, and then on the right hand side you can see the battery charge level, right? So we're at 100%, and it does say that we're at 67 miles range. Now, I do have it in the Sport, I believe, drive. Let's check this out. You can switch it to green, see it increases the range to 73. Then you can switch it to Green Plus, which increases the range to 94. I wouldn't want to do that just because it turns off the air conditioning. So go back to the regular mode, or the Sport mode. It goes back to 67, and just mind it, guys, it says it's 104 degrees outside. No wonder I was sweating, really. So in the middle right here you have the speedometer, which is a pretty cool feature, right? It's good to have to see how fast you're going. And what else do we have here? So you can see the different radio stations. I'm scrolling through them, and then up and down. What else do we have? This is pretty much it. This is what your instrument cluster is. So not a lot of stuff that you can actually do here. A lot more can be done through this infotainment center. Now the infotainment center, okay, it is touchscreen, so it's pretty cool. This is your main screen over here, and you can control it two different ways. One of them is obviously touchscreen, so you can scroll it just like you're doing on your iPad or your iPhone, or if you prefer the controller, it is one right here. So since I don't want to have my hand in the screen all the time, let me do it this way. Okay, so you can see communications, media, radio, navigation. Let's see what the navigation looks like. Okay, so we've seen this navigation before on some of the other Mini Coopers over here. Let's go back from this screen and let's go back to notifications. My Mini, here it is. Okay, I actually want to go back and see what it says. So it says 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour. That's the range that you're getting. You have total vehicle, it's got 4,961 miles, and it was running 233 hours. So that's basically from the previous owner. Now let's actually hit it, vehicle settings. You can go to different vehicle settings over here: lighting, doors, keys, intelligent, safety, speed warning, configure green, activate climate control, vehicle tracking. That's pretty cool. Vehicle can be located online, which I'm pretty sure it requires a subscription, but that's in case you get stolen. You can at least see where the vehicle is, or when the driver runs out of battery, right? So doors, keys, you can select key button settings for the driver's door, tailgate, door keys, locks automatically, etc. Those are your settings. There's a lot to go through. System settings, mobile devices, language displays, date and time, contents of main menu. You can actually select that as well. Onboard info, mini connected, weather, planned charging, climate control. It says charge immediately, low cost charging for departure. Well, I guess it just allows you to set it up in case you're charging it at home, in case you are paying less at the certain time frames to charge it during those hours. So driver profile, vehicle status, technology in action. Let's see what the eDrive is. It tells you, okay, vehicle is ready to drive. If you actually potentially lower the climate control, see, it can actually add more miles to the range. So you can see the range goes to 75 if I turn off my climate control, which, you know, I'm not going to do at 104 degrees outside. But that's basically what it shows you. Let's go back to the main menu. Let's see what else we have. We have the weather channel right here. It says 93 degrees over here. And then the main menu right here. Navigation, my many connected, media, radio, communication. That's what it is. Now, one important thing, if you look at the communications over here, and if you look at the applications, you actually have the ability to connect Apple CarPlay, but you don't have the ability Android Auto, so it doesn't support Android Auto. So some we're not sure what it is, but you got to trust me on that. Anyway, so it is a pretty cool infotainment system. The sound system actually sounds pretty good. So scrolling down over here, you have the climate control, and this is a dual zone climate control. So you can select your temperature, and another cool thing, see, selecting the temperature, this bezel right here, if you will, just basically turns on into the controller, and then you can see that the temperature, as it's raising up, you can see this white light that goes up and down. That's where the temperature settings are. That kind of helps you visually. It's a pretty cool, quirky feature on this Mini Cooper. So basically that's what it is. Right underneath here you have the heated seats, you have the Max window defogger right here, window defroster, air recirculating button, and then you have a few buttons right underneath here. So this first button right here that controls your regen, and that goes from the low regenerative to high regenerative braking. That basically is going to allow you to basically drive this car with one foot without ever having to use the brake pedal. Well, in some stations you need to have. Now this, we've seen it already, that's the start stop button. Now you have the traction control off, and that's where you select the different drive modes. So let's go through the drive modes again. Over here you can see the sport setting, mid, which is the balance setting, and then you have the green, efficient driving settings, and the maximum range without comfort functions. So it's going to limit what you can use on the vehicle, but it's going to give you a maximum range, and sometimes that could be like almost literally life-saving. Now, if you scroll down over here, you have a little bit more storage. You also have the USB port over here, and then you have the regular 12-volt power outlet. You have two cup holders in front of the gear shifter. The gear shifter is right over here. So you can see the pretty cool looking gear shifter actually. That's where you control basically your infotainment center. So you have the media, map, com, nav, menu, and then the controller over here, back in option. Looks like a BMW, just because Mini is owned by BMW, it's part of the BMW group. And then you have the parking brake. See, now it's engaged over here. All right, as far as the look of this vehicle, it is pretty cool. We can also look up over here and see what else there is. Now, I like the way that those buttons look. They kind of like from the airplane, right? So even the light switch over here looks like something from the airplane. So those are basically controlling your lights. This controls your sunroof, which, by the way, over here, now you can have the windshield basically, or the sunscreen closed, which is a nice feature. I can also open it for maximum light. I like to have it dimmed a little bit like this. And let's close the sunroof. Is it the one-touch close? Yes, it is. What else do we have here? We do have the illuminated mirror on the driver passenger side. Cool. Can't wait to take it for a spin, so let's do it. Quick thing before we do it. Last thing, all right? I didn't check out the rear view camera, so here we go. It is opens up like half of this 8.8 inch screen, which is a tiny little rear view camera. The quality of it is quite good though, and it does have the trajectory line. I still would like to see it on the entire screen right here. Really, I know it does have the backup sensor that's going to illuminate it, but you can just put this icon somewhere over here in the middle of the screen and utilize more space on it. Not sure why more and more manufacturers are not doing it. Let's flip it back to the parking mode. By the way, this turns on pretty much all of the safety features. You can individually say turn that on as well. And of course, this is your hazard lights over here as well. I'm excited to actually take this for a spin. let's talk about some specs and some of the pricing that are available on the Mini's website right now. So first of all, there's several different Mini Cooper models available, starting with the regular Mini Cooper hardtop that starts at $28,600. Then the Cooper S hardtop two-door $32,200. John Cooper Works hardtop $40,325. And now for 2023, now mind that this is a 2022, started at $29,000. Looks like the price went up substantially for 2023. I wonder what the differences are. $34,225 is the price. Is it the battery that they made bigger? Well, still the same output as far as the horsepower and as far as torque, and well, the performance, it is the same. So I think it is going to be pretty much the same. Maybe they added some standard features on it. So Cooper SE hardtop two-door weighs 3,143 pounds, which is about 400 pounds heavier than the base Mini Cooper. It's also slower than the Cooper S and the John Cooper Works at 6.9 seconds and 5.9 second John Cooper Works hardtop. So it's about a second slower. But you know, a lot of people don't get it for the speed. They get it for, of course, the savings, the economy, the green factor, the whole 9 yards, etc. Let's take it for a spin. I gotta tell you, this regenerative braking, I'll let my foot off the gas and vehicle basically stops if I don't accelerate. So I mean, it could be a 1 foot drive if you choose to do it this way, and now I'm in the normal regenerative braking mode. It could also be a high regenerative braking, which is going to be a lot stronger braking. It's very quiet, as it should be for an electric vehicle. You don't basically hear anything, and it's going to take a little bit to getting used to that regen braking. It is very sensitive. It feels pretty cool. It feels, you know, it is a small vehicle, so there's not a lot of expectation as far as the roominess, and you definitely sit low to the ground. It does have that cool factor. It is a compact hatchback, hot hatch, if you will. Definitely a different driving dynamics. It's pretty cool. It's fun. Get it up to about 40-45 right away without really trying too hard. It is super quiet. Holds on the ground too pretty nicely. I'm gonna actually take a turn at a little bit quicker speed and see how that holds on the ground. I know the batteries, all the 300 pounds, that's heavier than the regular one. They're all down underneath here, so it should be a better handling vehicle than even the gasoline one. What I really want to do, guys, is I want to stop and feel that acceleration, but so far this car handles really, really well. I can already see that it can be a lot of fun, like especially in the city traffic, if you need some quick acceleration, quick turning, quick maneuvering, and not have to look for a huge parking spot. That could definitely be the vehicle for you. I'm at a complete stop right now, 0 miles per hour. Let's hit it. I'm at 60 already. That's a pretty fun acceleration. I think I can get used to it. It seems like a lot of fun driving this vehicle. Okay, so overall, this was a very positive impression of this vehicle. If I were to complain about one thing, that would be the range on this. 110 miles per hour is definitely not a lot. Unless you live in the city and work in the city, I mean, that's more power to you. But if you are planning to take it on the road trip, you better plan it very, very carefully and make sure you give yourself enough buffer to get to the next charging point. Other than that, the vehicle itself, it's fun to drive, it's fast, it's got a lot of pretty cool features. It is not very expensive, so it's not going to break your bank, and you still can have the electric vehicle. I gotta tell you, the fit and finish on this vehicle is definitely superior to a lot of other electric vehicle automakers. I don't see too many of the gaps between the panels on the outside. The fit and finish is very solid on the inside. It's got some cool features that you'll find in the regular gasoline Mini Cooper. I like that digital infotainment system. I like that digital screen over here. overall, it's a very, very pleasant vehicle. I hope you like it. I hope you like the video, and I hope I brought some value into your life, guys. If you like watching videos like this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. And hit that like and the bell notification button so you don't miss any of my videos that are coming up. And I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.